which follows the theme of the 60th anniversary, Eyes on the Future, which gives us a sense of direction of the focus of the university under my watch. The future of education is very collaborative. We must aggressively follow internationalization and networking through impactful qualitative research, entrepreneurial and innovative ideas to enhance skills development that foster industry linkages. However, to achieve this, we must very aggressively automate our university. For Nigeria to be ready for the future, we must have inquiring minds, we must have sound character, and we must be globally impactful. The university must consolidate on all its investments in scholarship, digitization, discoveries, financial independence, as well as develop new policies that ease the process for employing international adjunct lecturers and facilitate international accreditation. It is against this backdrop that today's convocation lecture, titled Finding the Boundaries of the Possible, Venturing Beyond, will be delivered by Dr. Chinenye Mbazoku, whose choice as this year's convocation lecturer was strategic, because he's a recognized policy analyst, thought leader, and technology solutions architect, who has had a unique blend of strategic thinking, technical skills, and competencies in multi-country people management, communications, and cross-group collaboration. He founded multiple award-winning technology solutions. He founded the multiple awards technology solutions provider, Infographics Nigeria, in 1996, leading its young team to a record-setting 5-time winning of Microsoft Partner Awards. He has worked with several industry and government agencies and is a member of various computer and software societies within and outside Nigeria. He is the current president of the Institute of Software Practitioners of Nigeria. His antecedents make him eminently qualified to speak on the topic, finding the boundaries of the possible, venturing beyond. And I am confident that he shall provide insights about the future and broaden our perspective that will help the university to stimulate discussions, engagement with the private sector, as well as other academia in shaping our future. Mr. Fola Adeola, OFR, who is our chairman, is a friend of the university. He is an advisor, an industry expert. He is the co-founder of Guaranteed Trust Bank, the chairman of Fate Foundation, as well as Main One Cable Company Limited. He is the chairman of this convocation lecture. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to listen with rapt attention to the lecture. I'm sure you will pick gems from it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the next thing on our agenda is the prelude book presentation, University of Lagos, the 6th Decade. And I have the joy and pleasure to invite to the podium the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development Services, Professor Ayodele Ashenwa, to coordinate the section.
The Chairman of Occasion, Mr. Fola Adeola, permit me to adopt the protocol that has been very well laid out by the Vice Chancellor. This is a prelude to the convocation lecture. History may be the story of the past, but it is as much the story of the present, because we make history every moment, even as we are. Events that seem like dates on the pages of a book have become turning points in the history of human societies. The case is no different in the life of University of Lagos. The past creates the present. Our world events exist as they do, and our world exists as it does only because of things that happened many years ago. And it is only by understanding those events that we can know how we got here, and we can learn lessons that help us to determine as we go ahead. At the University of Lagos, our history does not stay behind us. It walks alongside us daily, teaching us lessons from the past, offering us guidance that assists us to keep on course our avowed mission. We believe that the resilience of University of Lagos, through the trials and triumphs that it has seen in its 60 years, lies in our ability to draw strength from what happened in the past. We constantly remind ourselves that we have been here before and we have soared, and so we continue to soar. Today, I have the privilege of presenting to you the third book of history documenting the life of University of Lagos. The book builds on two previous books written on the commission of the university management. The first is A History of University of Lagos, 1962 to 1987, published to mark the university's 25th anniversary. The second is A History of University of Lagos, 1982 to 2012, which was produced to mark the university's 50th anniversary. This third book, University of Lagos, the sixth decade, is being presented today to mark the 60th anniversary of the university. It is a compendium of essays authored by 15 scholars. The work is edited by two historians of note and renowned scholars, Professor Rufus Taiwo Akinyele and Professor Olufunke Akinboye, both of them of the Department of History of the University of Lagos. Opening with reflections on the first 5 decades of the university, the book closes with the title, Engaging the Past to Shape the Future. Comprising of 15 chapters, authored by members of our scholarly community, the book spans topics around the university's infrastructural development during the period of the university's 6th decade, academic growth as reflected in the development of our various faculties, departments, centers, institutes, positive changes in our university's administration, staff and students' welfare, security are all well documented. Our efforts at building bridges through our internationalization mission, our aggressive efforts at promoting research, innovation, and entrepreneurship, our very daring embrace of private and public partnerships, as well as our responsiveness to our nation's needs by designing bridge programs to respond to the needs of pre-university population, are all recorded in this work. I will certainly not go into an extensive review of the book, least of all an academic review at this presentation, as we share the podium with the main event, the convocation lecture. As a scholarly community, I can assure you that the book will see much critical review in due course. Hence, I will end this brief statement on the book, University of Lagos, the 6th decade, by inviting everyone who is here to pick a copy, even as you exit this hall. It will also be available online for purchase, and I invite you to place your orders. And on this note, it is my honor to invite the chairman of this event, the Pro-Chancellor, the chairman of the the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council, as well as Madam Vice-Chancellor, to please rise and publicly present the book, University of Lagos, the Sixth Decade. Thank you.
We ask you to each take a copy on your way out. It tells you the story of University of Lagos in the 60th decade. We are just starting the 70th. So pick one and get a bit of history. Thank you very much. Okay. You do.
Just like we heard, copies are available. And just in case you'd rather have e-copies, I also was told that e-copies are equally available. Thank you very much. We will continue with the lecture while I call the chairman for his opening remarks. Please join me as I welcome to the podium Mr. Fola Adiola. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Providence has played this game once again. If you check your time, it's almost 1 o'clock. Just shy 2 minutes. So assume that it's 1 o'clock. And another way of saying 1 o'clock is 13 hours. And on the dot of 13 hours, I'm declaring set the convocation lecture for the 13th Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos. This is not good enough. Providence plays tricks on us, and this is one such trick. Now let me start. The Pro-Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor, members of Council. Well, let me start in the way I would have loved to start. The Obi of Onitsha, Mama Shade. Mommy Ade Ajayi. Àwọn ará Ìbàdàn. Ọkọ Ṣadé. Ọmọ Ṣadé. '11th and 12th Vice Chancellors, University of Lagos. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to scare you, but the purpose of this afternoon is to listen to Chinenye Mbazoku deliver a lecture. He has done all the work. When this kind of lectures are being delivered, so many things happen. I'll tell you two things that happen, or two of so many things that happen. One was illustrated by the master in the parable of the sower. Those seeds fell on 4 different soil types, and only one soil type produced in 20s and in 30s. The first by the wayside. And that's how his speech is going to play. I'm hoping that enough of those seeds will be received by enough people to produce the kind of outcome that the Vice Chancellor would like. The second one is the audience, whose role is to listen to the speaker. Some of the members of the audience may finish their own assignment before the speaker finishes. In this circumstance, please don't disturb those who haven't finished. And you can just, there are a few aisles here, that you can just sneak out if you have finished. But we will not end this event until the speaker has finished his assignment. He has assured me that he will balance his own finishing his assignment with the audience finishing their assignment. My prayer is that there's a meeting point in those assignments. We listened to the Vice Chancellor earlier today. I've had speeches in this climb. When you say something was simple, easy to understand, it was a speech that would qualify. And I did a summary. And my summary is simple, one-liner: growing the farm. Growing the farm. Farm, not F-A-R-M, but farm, F-I-R-M. Vice Chancellor Ogunshola said she wanted to grow reputation. She wanted to grow financing. She wanted to grow infrastructure. And she wanted to grow manpower. And then the rest was elaboration of how she was going to do this. As a lazy student, I always use mnemonics to study. So I said to myself, if I have to write an exam on this and they ask me at home, what did she say she wanted to do? And then I said to myself, R-F-I-M doesn't make sense. F-R-I-M doesn't make sense. F-I-A-R-M makes sense. So I rearranged it. VC Ogunshola will grow financing, will grow infrastructure, will grow reputation, and will grow manpower. And I said, hey, Folashade Ogunshola is going to grow the farm. And what is the farm? The University of Lagos. So I'm going home easy. Any of my teachers can ask me the question, What did she say? Tell you that she was going to grow the farm. Grow the farm. Your work is cut out for you. And I started learning mnemonics since I was in Form 2 of high school. I always tell this story. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, may so rest in peace, was giving us a speech, the annual speech day. And halfway through his speech, the man just went into Latin. We studied Latin. I was in Form 2. I hadn't studied enough to understand that level of Latin. And for the rest of his speech, it was spiritum, tinta, tum. Okay. And we were young boys, spellbound, watching the Owele deliver. So he left. And when they asked her, what did he say? We would look at ourselves. I said, you were not there. Zeke, you didn't hear what he said? Zeke, he spoke. He spoke. What did he say? Zeke, he spoke. I have just made it easy for you that Shadi Ogushola didn't just speak. Just put that in your pocket. She's going to grow the farm. I am not the guest speaker. I'm just to make sure that everybody behaves. President Obasanjo was lucky he came late, and I accused him of coming late, and he said he submitted himself for punishment. Only that he left before I could administer the punishment on him. But those of you that are staying, excluding the OB and the Pro-Chancellor, I will meet punishment. That's my job, to whip the conversation. But I have no doubt in my mind that what informed the choice of the speaker was also contained in the speech that was given by the Vice Chancellor. The bringing into contact the gown and the town. So it's not all the time we want to listen to these eggheads talk above our heads, and all we can say is that they spoke. We are going to listen to a man who is going to speak at our level in our own language, what the Americans call 101. Please be patient. Please let us reward hard work. It's not easy for a person to put this together for our benefit, and then we decide that our own assignment is ended before his own assignment is ended. I wish you a pleasant listening. Congratulations, VC. My born-again friends will say, may the lines fall for you in pleasant places. I've tried to analyze and understand, but because everybody says amen after it, I want to say that may the lines fall for you in pleasant places. Jobs like this are not without their challenges. Fortunately, you have deposited into your husband and your children's bank account that even though you are not there, they still love you. Please still love her. She's not going to be there more now, but for good. But for good. It's God that blesses endeavor. We pray that He will bless your endeavor. You are working with people, and you've said it, teamwork. If we can do it together, the Pro-Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor, the members of Council, not them and us, not us and them. If we can make that work in a relationship, communication is what they say is the key. Let's communicate. It's not all the time that we will agree, but once we understand where we stand, then we are fine. And in our disagreement, we needn't be disagreeable. I wish you well. Consult. You are born into this because I knew your father. So you are not going to prove to be a VC. You're just going to be a VC. That's who you are. There's nothing to prove. All that they've read in your citation, prove to who? We pray that you will be a VC. One that will be remembered. When Mrs. Adiajayi got here, the whole place went round cross, and she wasn't the VC. She only just knew the VC. And your VC tenure will be to the glory of God and for the benefit of humanity. So is my wish. To the moderator, I hand over. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me call at this time the university orator to come and read the citation of our guest lecturer, Professor Ademola Remusu, please. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much. May I humbly request the guest lecturer to be upstanding. The chairman, sir. I adopt also all the established protocol. Mr. Chinaye Mba Uzoku, FNCS. Mr. Chinaye Mba Uzoku is the managing partner of Grand Central Africa. He holds a bachelor's degree in political science of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and has almost 30 years of eclectic career spanning marketing communications, digital design, strategy, software development, and digital transformation consulting in private and public sectors. A recognized policy analyst, thought leader, and technology solutions architect, he has a unique blend of strategic thinking, technical skills, and competencies in multi-country people management, communications, and cross-group collaboration. From organizing children's programs as a teenage founder of Big Brothers and Sisters on the university campus, to leading sector growth and national strategic reforms, Chinaye is driven by a family tradition of community involvement and transformational leadership. He founded multiple award-winning technology solutions provider Infographics Nigeria in 1996, leading its young team to a record-setting 5-time winner of Microsoft Partner Awards, including 2-time winner of Microsoft Worldwide Partner Award for solutions, architecting, and delivery of over 60 enterprise software integration and digital transformation projects in financial services, manufacturing, retail, and telecommunications. In 2007, he joined Microsoft Corporation as General Manager, Anglophone West Africa, leading the largest OpCo in Sub-Saharan Africa with oversight of 7-country portfolio as a member of Microsoft EMEA management team responsible for 53 countries. His passion for the advancement and future of Africa, Nigeria, and its youth was evident in his special focus on winning expanded investment in programmatic initiatives such as Innovative Teacher Award, Nigerian Software Summit, Imagine Corp, Partners in Learning, Youth Leadership Summit, and the successful delivery of Microsoft Windows Language Localization Program in Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo, creating access for millions of digitally disenfranchised by lack of literacy in English language. With this background of multi-country responsibilities in Africa, he left Microsoft to pursue his vision of a borderless Africa transformed by digitally empowered youth as managing partner of the technology strategy consulting and project management firm Grand Central, where he works with his team to engineer Africa's digital transformation in government, healthcare, education, oil and gas, and media, entertainment, and financial services sectors. As a pioneer certified foundation rainforest innovation architect and member board of trustees Global Rainforest Makers Network, he has led consulting in architecting entrepreneurial ecosystems for 4 states as well as the federal government, and is the lead partner co-investor in 10,000 square meters Tinapa Knowledge City Tech Park. Under his guidance, Infographics became the pioneer Microsoft Academic Services partner, responsible for over 300 education partners in 7 countries in West Africa. Successfully deployed the proprietary Attain framework for evolving learning ecosystems in 140 public schools in 12 states. Delivered digital literacy training programs to and for over 12,000 teachers in Cross River, Lagos, and Ondo states. He designed and executed a turnaround program for MTN Foundation Schools Connect in 62 schools across Nigeria, consulted on state education strategy to Cross River State, including the Institute of Technology and Management, UGEP Cross River. For Imo State, the TVET Transformation Program, he is member of Vice Chancellor's Technology Advisory Council, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. He also consulted for Lagos State Economic Advisory Group for the 2015 to 2019 Education Sector Diagnostics for Lagos State Government. He led strategy consulting for Imo State University Pro-Chancellor Retreat 2021 and serves Program Manager, a Coastal School Transformation Project with Lagos State Ministry of Education, among other projects. Chineye is a passionate communicator, problem solver, with strong organizational leadership and decision-making skills, and an experienced investor in youth-led startups. He is the chairman of Olanma Cares, a mental health advocacy NGO, Plus Life, a revolutionary multi-mesh communication solution, and serves on the board of several other organizations, including Banyan Tree Capital Partners Limited, a business process outsourcing and procurement firm. As a public speaker and change agent, he is a fellow of the Nigerian Computer Society, a council member of Computer Professional Registration Council of Nigeria, and is the current president of the Institute of Software Practitioners of Nigeria. He is a co-founder trustee of the Education Reform and Innovation Team, ERIT, a collaborative of over 160 reform organizations in Nigeria, and serves as technical co-lead and member Education and Manpower Thematic Work Group of Federal Government Agenda 2050. He is a member steering committee of the NESG Digital Economy Policy Commission and chairman Central Organizing Committee of the 28th Nigeria Economic Summit. Chineye is married to Wangi Mba Uzoku, and they have 3 children, Chiora, Toya, and Somse. I present to you our guest speaker, Mr. Chineye Mba Uzoku. Thank you.
Visitor ably represented. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, Vice Chancellor, Governing Council members, the respected Ubi of Onitsha, all other protocols duly observed with your permission. I understand that we are far spent in terms of the day, and the book that you have with you is really for you to read when you leave here. So please do not do the assignment here. I also have good news for you. When I was a student in University of Nigeria, Nsukka, I went through a number of courses. I won't bore you with the details of the different courses that I studied before they finally released me. But I learned one lesson very early in my second round, which was that the best lecturers always keep some marks in their pockets. So what that means is that even the book you have with you, I have kept some things inside my pocket. So today, I will try to cover what I would like to speak about as expeditiously as is possible. I want you to bear with me as I skip certain sections of the book that you have with you, and as I add some of the things that I have inside my pocket. I will try to get this within time, balance, as the chairman has kindly instructed. But I do hope that at the end of the discussion or the lecture, that perhaps together we could agree to do really what the Vice Chancellor actually presented in her speech. She's done most of the work for me, actually. And so mine is going to be to speak more around the things that she did not mention. This morning, as I was about to head off for this lecture, I entered Senate Building, University of Lagos. And it didn't give me the address, the location on maps. I then entered Senate Building, Great University of Lagos, and it popped up. Somebody is definitely working at that layer. Great Akokites. Great Akokites. Greatest Akokites. I offer my congratulations on this 53rd convocation, and I join all teachers, friends, and family in celebrating the successful journey of the students who will graduate at the ceremony tomorrow. Permit me, before I go into my speech, to just recognize, as all of us do, that every one of us stands literally on the shoulders and on the foundation that has been built by others who came before us. Many have passed. Many have retired. But there is no single person on this planet who doesn't owe, to a very large extent, where they are today on the work that was done by others that came before them selflessly. I plead with you to always keep these people in mind. In looking at the University of Lagos, I was tempted to start this by listing out the greats. I realized that it would be a book about the size of the one that was just presented today. This university is legendary. Back in the day, when we were looking to get into university, some of us saw University of Lagos and just passed by because we didn't believe that we were worthy. I think there are many people out there who would say exactly the same thing if they should be honest. That when you look at universities in Nigeria and you want to be sure you pass and you get entrance, you generally tend to ignore the first choice. For those who didn't do that and who came here and who have become alumni of this great university, I salute you, I salute your courage, but most of all, I salute your vision. I wish in this lecture to pay respect, honor, and homage to the great minds that have been here and those who you have produced it over the years. I want to be clear that we do have what I describe as a sacred trust of civilization, a requirement to protect the heritage of these people who came before us, to extend that through research, teaching, and learning, even as we teach, and to build knowledge even bigger and greater than what it is that we met. And indeed, that our true measure is not in the number of private jets that we have, or even the size of our bank accounts. Our true measure, indeed, is this: what can it be said that we have contributed to civilization when we pass? That is the test. Before I go too far, let me read something from my speech. It's all too often tried to give the nod to gender. However, I doubt that there is any man left in the modern world who will not recognize that a society does itself near irreparable damage when it intentionally pursues the folly of suppressing the latent capacity of women in all spheres of endeavor, especially at leadership levels. I do not need to summon courage, therefore, to adopt the tactics of the British in divide and rule. By borrowing an assertion by one of my favorites, the multiple award-winning author Ben Okri, I will only read the first part. The second part I leave you to complete. He says, and I quote, "Men make laws, women make ways. Men build, women make the building live. Men know death, but women know life. If men make mistakes, women die. If women make mistakes, the whole tribe perishes." It's important for us to understand that this is not said in a facetious manner. It's important for us to understand that this is backed actually by much science. And that science perhaps is encapsulated in the words of Mao Zedong when he says that women hold up half the sky. I wanted to start this, distinguished guests, because I could not escape from the reality that it took a woman to make the decision to ask me, the son of a late professor, third of 7 boys whose mother leveraged a primary school education to become a certified nurse, midwife, and chef, eventually earning a BSc and an MSc from Michigan State University in the US, with which she then spent half of a century, actually, working in social welfare and education. Professor Ogunshola, RVC, you found me, you spoke with me very briefly, and you bequeathed this honor on me with only a chat on Zoom. And you did so also with the recommendation of another great woman leader, Mrs. Alero Aida Otobo. I thank you. God bless you both. I will return to the concept of leadership and provide some insights from my perspective on what leadership is. But it's important for us to note that the university, as we see today, had its origins in the academies that were set up by Greek philosophers, or so they tell us. Plato was the one who offered the solution to a just and peaceful and progressive society. He believed that it lay in breeding a cadre of philosopher kings for the specific and exclusive function of governance, that men may be guarded from themselves. He understood, as most philosophers have, that man is made up of 2 parts, the good, the bad. And balancing these 2 requires a clear understanding of your role, your function, your value, your purpose of being alive. And that it was important not to take it for granted. And so he set up the academy in Greece. And from the academy, men began to understand the benefits of institutions of learning, places where you gather to exchange ideas, where knowledge is offered freely and taken by others, and knowledge is built and extended, and civilization grows thereof. It was the academy that eventually birthed the university. And it's very interesting for us to understand that the university itself, interestingly, was not founded in the places that we think it was. I did a little bit of research, and I found that the 4 oldest universities in the world are located in Africa. The first was established in Tunisia in 737 AD. Second, in Morocco, was founded by a woman in 859 AD. The third in Egypt in 975 AD. And the fourth, 989 AD. It took Europe, what we call Europe today, a century more to catch up with Africa. Therefore, we should not feel that the universities are things that we are alien to our environment. No, they're intrinsic to our culture and our understanding that we always have to pass knowledge on from generation to generation. And that is why I grew up in an environment where knowledge was exalted, where all you needed to say was your father was a lecturer, and people would bow. Not today, where the sirens drive everyone off the road, and where the lecturer is seen as somebody who has to get their gift and their reward in heaven. But fast forward 1,000 years later, and we can understand that there's a crisis in our universities today. There's a lot of data that is provided in the book with you. I took it from the findings of perhaps what I think is the most comprehensive study of 61 universities in Nigeria back in 2012. That report, funny enough, I had to search aggressively to find it because it isn't a publicly acknowledged document. But everyone who gets hold of that document, and maybe we should share it with each other, just as a way of a background, would see pictorial representations of the state of 61 universities in Nigeria in a survey that was carried out by the regulators and representatives of ASU. The pictures were grim. Unfortunate. Today is not a day to dwell on the sad things, but it is important for us to note almost everything that was called out in the 2012 reports, a decade later, represent the situation in our universities today. Clearly, something is wrong. It's in my place, I believe, to take literally the flak by saying the things that need to be said and pointing out to all of us that are here that we have a collective ownership of this challenge, this problem that is plaguing our tertiary education system. There's no point looking at people and pointing fingers, assigning blame. The reality is also contained in that same report. 189 slide deck, 189 pages, comprehensive study. And in that study, at the end, they came to a conclusion. That conclusion was that the challenge, the biggest challenge that universities face, the biggest, was not infrastructure. It wasn't necessarily curriculum. The biggest challenge that they faced was leadership. Transformational leadership. Leadership that is prepared, just like Plato was referring to, just like Aristotle was referring to. Leadership that is prepared for leadership and has at its heart a desire to transform, a compulsion to change things and not leave things the way that they met them, a willingness to dare anyone, to take on the most difficult tasks and to be actively disliked if the final purpose of transformation is to be met. These leaders are not popular leaders. They're rarely applauded. They're rarely celebrated. And the reason why is because they have to do the things that we are most reluctant to do. And so in that report that focused on leadership, they pointed out that until we put in place in our universities the caliber of leadership that is required, we will not get the transformation that we need. And the transformation covers all the dimensions that have been spoken about. I took a look as well at the university and the university's progress in the context of Nigeria. And the numbers, again, were alarming. They're alarming because we are one of the most intelligent nations on the planet. I am not the one saying so. There's a book called The Triple Package by Professor Amy Chua of Yale University. And in that book, she makes it clear and has stated elsewhere that in the United States of America, the 6th best performing ethnic group in the United States of America is Nigerian. The 6th. To understand the import of that, we need to recognize that we are ourselves capable. We should reject the sense that we have a problem that is uniquely Nigerian that cannot be solved. In other words, that there's something wrong with us. Nothing is wrong with us. What we are and where we are is a consequence of leadership. Because it takes leaders to step forward and to carry everyone else along, to articulate a vision, define where the university is going, where the country is going, and then build the support, the manpower, the human capital that's needed to make it happen. When you fail to do that, you have a problem. I will speak briefly around some of these numbers. These numbers are interesting. I will summarize them. Some of what you see in the report has, of course, been updated. The visitor, ably represented, did mention today that there are 221 universities. At the time that we checked and developed this, there are about 170. So it speaks to, but we did record that there are about 200 universities awaiting licenses, and that NUC was committed to expanding the capacity of institutions and raising the number from where it was before to what it is today. However, when you look at gross enrollment, which is a measure of the number of people in tertiary institutions against the population, Nigeria is at 12% as at 2018, Ghana at 18.2%, South Africa at 23.8%, Egypt at 36.2%, and the United States at 87.89%. What these figures tell us unequivocally is that we are not producing the volume, let alone the quality of the human capital that's required to drive our development. A study has been published that says, it posits that about 8% of your population needs to have university degrees before they can significantly impact your GDP. It would interest you to look again at the numbers in Nigeria. This is not a discussion around the general education system. But when you look at the numbers, education is a pyramid. It starts at the bottom and goes to the top, at which the tertiary is at the top. Relative to our population, our studies are showing that we have not, in the last 30 years, exceeded 1% of our population in universities at any point in time. I'm not talking about admission, I'm talking about gross enrollment. As of today, we have about 1.97 or 1.98 million students in all our universities today, give or take a few numbers. My math is not fantastic, but if we say our population is 2 million, is 200 million, I think 1% is somewhere around 2 million. All the teachers here should help me if I'm wrong. You cannot have 1% of your population in tertiary education as enrollment and expect to significantly drive development. And as we are seeing from the Japa syndrome, the elephant in the room, as we're seeing from the Japa syndrome, it's dangerous. Let me help us understand how dangerous that is. A report by the Institute of Migration states clearly that over the past 20 years, the highest level of migration out of Nigeria is 0.7%. You need to stop and think a little bit about that number. I didn't say 1%, I said 0.7%. And that number was recorded in 2021. If you're losing 0.7% of your population to Japa, and the whole country of 200 million is in panic, it reinforces the point that I'm making. We cannot possibly rely on 1% of our population in tertiary to drive development. That Nigeria is shaking at the thought of the loss of this 0.7% after 60 years, 60-something years of development, of having universities, great universities like the University of Lagos. Certainly there's a problem. We have to accept and recognize that problem. That unless we radically expand the number of people who can get into our universities, unless we change from 500,000 getting admissions into universities to go like India, the Indian population tertiary education system has 18 million undergraduates. 18 million. Yes, they have 1 billion people, but by the year 2030, there'll be 300 million Nigerians. By the year 2050, 450 million Nigerians. If we continue with 1%, we will be preparing a bomb that the world would never survive. A huge mass of uneducated, poorly educated, dysfunctional people who are not dysfunctional because they lack the capacity, but because we have failed them as a nation. Therefore, our most urgent imperative has to be to understand what needs to be done to radically change these numbers, turn them around. I make the case in the paper that we have to understand that if there are 40 million Nigerians who need to go to school every single day, and we assume a class size to be 40, it means we need to have 1 million classrooms. Extrapolate that to the number that we currently require, from basic education to university. Add the ones who have graduated from the university system, who statistically have been proven to not be able to find a job, any job, for a minimum of 2 years post-graduation, and to find a job in their own area of graduation, 5 years. And this number is 10 years old. This statistic I'm giving you is 10 years old. We have to solve that problem by rapidly expanding our capacity. We maintain that we will never build enough classrooms. We also maintain that we may never have enough teachers, particularly at a basic education level, and certainly not enough teachers with the capacity and the capability that we need. So we need to find another way to catalyze, another way to multiply, another way to accelerate access to quality education. And there is only one way that exists today. Only one phenomenon has that capability, and that phenomenon is technology. This is the only way in which the lecturers in this room and your students can have access to the world of knowledge, literally the global brain that sits outside there. Only by creating that level of capacity, only by accelerating those numbers, can we actually begin to build the momentum that we require. The university with the highest enrollment of Nigerians in the world is the Indira Gandhi National Open University. It's not in Nigeria. It's an open university in Delhi, India. It has the highest enrollment of Nigerian undergraduates of any institution in the world. In 2013, I was in India on an education tour. I have been fortunate to have gone to countries like India, Finland, a number of other places in search of this golden fleece, the Bion golden fleece being the key to unlocking education in Nigeria. I was there when the University of Delhi announced its results and the first wave of students admitted into university. I asked for the cutoff mark, 100%. I asked for the cutoff mark for the second wave, 100%. I asked for the cutoff mark for the third wave, 100%. They don't have the capacity to admit all the students who score 100%. By the third wave, the number starts to go down. It doesn't go below 80%. Yes, I know JAMB is not an exam that you measure in exactly the same way. But how can we have a system that admits students into universities with 140, out of a possible 400 points and expect to compete with the world? How can we have a system that admits them with foundational literacies missing, competence in numbers, competence in English, and we teach them in English, and we expect them to become engineers. We expect them to understand chemistry. The foundational literacies are set in basic education, and the evidence is clear across the country. The universities are working with what they get. They're not responsible for establishing foundational literacies at basic education level. And so by the time you get to this level, in 1986, the Ministry of Education did a study. That study was clear. They said the carrying capacity of our senior secondary, the number of available seats in senior secondary 1 was 14% of the population in JS3. Which means that if 100% of the students in junior secondary 3 were able to pass the exams in a way to get into senior secondary 1, the system had capacity for 14%. It is that 14% that proceeds on the track to go into your universities. And yet, from that 14%, we are still admitting students into universities with under 300, just to be generous. We know what the median is. The JAMB report from 2019 and 2020 says the universities who submitted cutoff marks around 180. There was a furor in Nigeria. JAMB is lowering standard. It's the universities that set the cutoff mark and recommend to JAMB. And then in a meeting of vice chancellors of admissions, they then decide on what is the median cutoff mark. You cannot do magic if you don't have the fundamental ingredients and the skill sets. But I put it to you in another paper that we are performing magic in Nigeria. These universities are performing magic. Some have said in popular discussions that the universities are useless, quote unquote. And I think that the people themselves who said so are themselves probably useless. Otherwise, how do you explain JAPA? JAPA is validation of what you're doing in University of Lagos and in many other universities. These students leave your schools where you have invested knowledge in them and trained them under the most difficult circumstances. No laboratories, no chemicals in laboratories, no physical equipment, thousands and hundreds of them cramped into classrooms, no multimedia such as what we're using in this room. We cannot provide for 1.9 million students. And yet, every year, the best places in the world come to Nigeria, seeking our doctors, and even now, our teachers. If you're in this hall and you're a teacher and you're planning to JAPA, I will report you to VC. But what is JAPA? It's an economic phenomenon, and it reflects our reality. Something produces that magic that the universities are performing and have been performing for many years. And it's not tuition, if I can speak to the elephant in the room. It's not because they pay a lot of money, clearly not so. Knowledge is created by an alchemy. That alchemy is what builds human capital. And that's the magic that universities are performing. You admit students, you hire faculty on the basis of values, the commitment that they have to carry on, mental acuity, which is their capacity to think, analyze, and proffer solutions, knowledge that exists within the system itself, and diligence, the ability to stay focused on something until you get the answer. I think Professor Chua is 100% correct about Nigerians, because she refers to it as impulse control. And she defines impulse control as the willingness to forego certain things in order to reach an objective and to stay focused on that objective. And I quote directly, impulse control refers to the ability to resist temptation, especially the temptation to give up in the face of hardship or quit instead of persevering at a difficult task. It's one of the metrics that they used in their research to arrive at Nigerians as the sixth best. I think everybody in Nigeria knows Nigerians are like that legendary Volkswagen Beetle. You can't kill it. You try as much as you want, you can't kill it. Everywhere you go in the world, you would see Nigerians outperforming. They're outperforming on the basis of these 4 values that they hold, but they're also outperforming on the basis of the magic that you perform in our universities. How else is it that a child who goes through our difficult circumstances can get a job abroad, train for 1 year, achieve professional certification, and begin to work in the system? We can't solve this problem, leverage this magic that you perform, expand it to the millions of people who need to be in schools, unless we address a problem. That's the elephant, and the biggest one in the room. It's bright pink, and it's called tuition. A student in Nigeria will probably pay about between $600 and $1,200 over the course of 4 or 5 years to get a degree. That same student studying political science like me will probably end up taking student loans in the US of almost $250,000 if he's going to go to, or she's going to go to, a school of the status of the University of Lagos. Great Akokite. If I went to Harvard in the US to study political science, I would take loans. I would come out of school with loans of about $250,000. President Obama famously paid off his loans while he was the president of the United States of America. He couldn't afford it before then. But we train the same set of people in Nigeria. And we even train medical doctors, the ones who are going at the rate of 200 to 300 every single month, every single quarter in Nigeria. 200 to 300 doctors leave. The last report was 266 for the last quarter of last year. How much does it cost us to train a child? At basic education level, do we know? I think the answer is no. This is the extent to which we have devalued education. Because we all know the cost of the shoes, the suits, the ties, the bags, the gele, the other things that we all buy. But we don't know the cost of educating a single child to primary 6. We don't know the cost of taking that single child from primary 6 to secondary school and then to university. If you don't know the cost, how can you possibly budget? If I want to buy a car today and it's $100,000, I will look at my budget and know it's a dream. I'll be like my father, who started to build his house when I was 6 and finished it when I was 36, as all professors tend to do. The fact that we don't know how much it costs to educate our children means that we're not even started the process of understanding what needs to be done. I will give you one example. Today, or as of 2 years ago, a single laboratory in a secondary school, chemistry, physics, science laboratory, would cost about 150 million naira. Dollar was 360 then. 150 million naira. It's not a surprise that what started as an experiment to close a gap, something we call alternative to practical, has become the fundamental curriculum that is used in schools today, because there are no laboratories. If we had to establish, for the 1,000 schools or so that are in Lagos, for example, or the 69,000 schools that are across Nigeria today, and we had to establish 4 laboratories, including as a 3 science plus 1 plus 1 ICT, this is 600 million naira investment per school. What do you think we should be investing in a great university like University of Lagos, across its various faculties? At the convocation ceremony in the UNN, we were told that the federal government can no longer afford to pay for education. Of course, we listened to it and we walked past it. Nobody likes unpleasant news. Can we continue to ignore the reality? To overcome that reality, we have to do one more thing. We have to overcome something that has eaten deep into our fabric of our society. And it's the first item that I mentioned that is vital to producing human capital, and that's values. There's a strange kind of system that we have in Nigeria. Let me return to my lecture and read to you 2 paragraphs. Benokri reminds us in Star Book that dying things appear to thrive. Without new dreams, we will surely die. The Vice-Chancellor asked us to dare to dream. We all applauded. And when we leave this hall today, we'll face the reality of the world that is outside. Dreams die first. If we must keep those dreams alive, we have to decide that we will no longer be where we have been put by this challenge, this suffocating and smothering challenge that mediocrity brings. We're running a nation, operating in a country where mediocrity doesn't even know its name. You sit beside it, you laugh and drink with it, you sit in the office, you see it in your classrooms, and you live with it. But mediocrity suffocates a society. Not only does it suffocate a society, but it fundamentally perverts your value system, which is why we celebrate mediocrity. How can you, a person of excellence, see mediocrity and clap for it? If you clap for it, what will your children do? And their children do. If we continue to applaud and celebrate mediocrity, excellence is gone. The VC calls us to excellence, to dream of a future for a university. The first thing that we have to dream about, we must come at it from the perspective of, do we want to be at the top or do we want to be at the bottom? Do we want to lead or do we want to follow? Are we content to follow those who are less equipped than we are? From a values perspective, from the perspective of mental acuity, from a perspective of their knowledge, and from a perspective of their diligence. There is no problem that we cannot solve if we put the right people to those issues. But so long as a community and as a nation, we reject excellence and continue to pursue mediocrity with diligence, we chase after mediocrity. We take people, we put them at the federal level, they go to the National Assembly for appointments and for allocation into ministries, and we ask them to take a bow. We do not ask for their resumes. We do not ask them to stand up like I was asked to stand up and you read out a citation, however true it may be, or however false it may be. We do little or nothing to establish the standards by which we want our country to be run. And so anything goes. We are doing what my friend Aditi F. Young calls manage it like that. We continue to manage Nigeria, just manage it. You manage your generator, you manage your Tokumbo car, you manage your shoe that is bending, you manage your torn clothing, you manage the bad roads, we continue to manage. It is impossible in an academic environment to manage. Academic environments are places of excellence and for excellence alone. A failure to hold on to that means that we are committing ourselves to a life of mediocrity and a celebration of mediocrity, and ultimately, the dream will die. And this is what Japai represents. Those who are Japai because the dream has died. But the dream lives in other climes, but is dead for them in Nigeria. Why wouldn't it die if you're asking them to compromise on the best that they are and instead subject themselves and subjugate themselves to the mediocre in your society? We must find mediocrity. We must call it by its name. We must reject it. We must shame it. And we must ultimately overcome it. Failure to overcome mediocrity means that the next decade, the next 60 years of this university will be managing it like that. I say no. I hope you do too. And I hope you will say so to your children that have been entrusted to you as they walk into this university. I had the opportunity to come to this university 30 years ago. I was searching for something. I found a gentleman in a book. I was looking for the boundaries of the possible. I had been told something could not be done, that it was impossible for this to be done. And I figured that I hadn't found the boundaries of the possible. And I researched and I found a gentleman. That search brought me to this university. I heard of a lecturer who had solved the challenge of low-cost housing with an industrial system of building, but no one wanted to risk living in his buildings. Like all legendary scientists, he took his own medicine, built a house, moved in with his family. Professor Olumide Olusoya of this great university is here today. So I guess the house has not collapsed. But what has happened to the building system? Our failure to adopt what works, what dramatically reduces the cost of providing housing to people, is an indictment of us and not of his genius. Almost 3 weeks ago, while wandering around the campus, I sauntered into a building and struck up a conversation with a 20-year-old. His name is Maxwell Maduka, who has co-founded NordMotion.com with a kind of oldish 30-year-old, Toby Ajayi, to build advanced industrial drones using operating systems that Maxwell and his 100% Niger crew are developing. What is their target? They want to compete with DJI, the #1 drone manufacturer in the world. By my count, the University of Lagos has at least 6 incubators or accelerators or things that look like that. We need to, exactly what the Vice Chancellor said, we need to bring these things under one roof and establish an industrial park that will be unmatched in its capacity to actually innovate and to create new things. They cannot be spread across your campus. We need to get a park and put them into that one place, exactly what the VC said. And every single day, these children, working with faculty, will begin to create the new Nigeria that we can only dream of. My wanderings also took me to the library, where I found an incredibly animated and beaming group of students and supervisors. They were determined to earn degrees like everyone else by reaching the boundaries of the possible. For them, the boundaries of the possible were set by their visual impairments. They have challenges with seeing. But they were determined that they would reach those boundaries and they would go beyond. I sat with them for 30 minutes, talking, discussing. I fought the impulse to cry, even though they probably would not have been able to see me. But I came out of there thinking, VC, this is to you. Those students who are visually impaired, they belong in the main hall at the entrance to your library because they epitomize the indomitable spirit of the true intellectual. The ones who at all costs will pursue knowledge. Whether they can see, whether they can hear, whether they can talk. This is what we need to see when we come into this university. And those students are an inspiration to every single other student, and they represent the spirit of this great university. I urge you to take the step of celebrating excellence by putting excellence in the face of everyone who is out there and challenging every single person who sees them to ask themselves the question, how can I be more? Every single day, a child that is visually impaired, that is a student, is faced, as many others who suffer such things, with existential questions as to whether this is the day that it all ends. But they put that fear in the pocket, they dare to dream. And by daring to dream, they can move the world. It's for us to find them, as you have, but we cannot put them in places where they will not be seen. This is the light that we cannot cover. is the light that we should raise and put on top, set up on a hill. Everyone will see it and everybody will know that this is a university that is different from all others. As I begin to round up, I need to speak a bit about technology and help you understand that you're not alone and that there are many of us who want to help and can help. Technology is fundamentally disrupting the world, and as the VC said, COVID-19 brought upon us a reality that unfortunately was captured by ASU as saying impossible. It cannot work on national television. I had the privilege of being on a program with the president of ASU, and I challenged him then. I don't think it went very well. And it didn't go very well in the subsequent discussions I've had with some academics who felt that I should not have weakened the position of ASU. I wasn't weakening the position. I was simply saying we cannot confess an impossibility when we haven't even reached the boundaries of the possible. Because what happens is that the mediocre adopts that as a mantra, and it becomes a crutch and a means for them to continue to do things in their own way. Whereas what you require is exponential courage, the bravery, and the willingness to change the world. It doesn't come from a mediocre. The mediocres want to keep things the same. So when somebody goes on TV and makes that statement, my fighting spirit comes. I love him. I love ASU. I'm a campus child. So this is my home and will always be. But the truth must be told. Imagine the challenge that you face then with what has happened only in the last 3 months. If you're here and you have not heard of artificial intelligence language models, or what has swept the world as something called ChatGPT, that's turning the world upside down and is frightening the bejesus out of every academic. This is a simple chat tool that leverages artificial intelligence and enables you to converse with it, and it answers questions. I want to be clear, this is not Google. When you go to Google, as your children do, they type, how do carnivores feed? What comes back is 2 billion articles. You have to click on the links to answer the question. Maybe they'll give you a Wikipedia that says, here is how carnivores feed. With ChatGPT, if you ask that question, it generates an entire conversation. And you are engaged in that conversation. In the book, the small book you have with you, you would see excerpts from a conversation I had with artificial intelligence. That conversation started with, how will AI change learning? What you see inside this book that you have with you, I'll read only the opening. No, let me read the closing paragraph. This is just a part, and I got this answer in 15 seconds. On one hand, there's concern about job losses for education as AI takes over certain tasks, such as grading essays or providing personalized feedback based on data analysis. This could lead to fewer teaching positions available, which would undermine an entire education ecosystem, so on and so forth. However, despite potential downsides posed by introducing automation into education settings, proponents suggest, and it goes on, everything you read there was not written by me. It was written by artificial intelligence. Today, all over the world, this has become, as you can imagine, the go-to tool for every student. They're writing the kind of essays that you would never have imagined, and that, frankly, many of the teachers cannot write themselves. Because in ChatGPT, it's not about one brain. It's about all knowledge known to mankind that has been digitized and made available for you to now query it. Yes, we fear the end of the world, but till then, I invite you to challenge yourselves and go and play around with ChatGPT. There's a browser that's called you.com, and that's the address, you.com. If you go into u.com, you can have a chat. ChatGPT is on something called, it's built by a company called OpenAI. U.com is a free browser. You go onto that browser, you ask a question like you would with Google, but you can also chat with it, and you can ask it to write you an essay. These systems are writing entire computer programs based on a discussion. If you decide today, I want to write a program that analyzes the atmospheric conditions in Nigeria, and you present the basic outlines of what that solution is made up of, the system generates the entire code for you and throws it back at you. Is it 100% correct? No. But are we? Is anybody here 100% correct? If we look at this as a negative, we get lost. I had a conversation with an educationist, or a set of educationists on the ERIT platform, where I was encouraging them to understand the 21st century, yes, we need infrastructure. But one of the biggest challenges that we face is in pedagogy. We need to figure out how do we use technology in a blended learning environment. And how do we learn how to teach, how to pass knowledge and to co-create knowledge. That requires the kind of training that the VC was talking about and more. The first thing it requires from you is a core recognition that the world has changed and that is not going back. You can fight it. Many here will fight it, unfortunately, if we go by Pareto's principle. But the world will change anyway. So what does the optimist do? You adjust your sails. If you find yourself in a storm, two things that have to happen. First, you have to make a choice to go forward or to go back. If you're in the middle, which is the better way to go? So the first choice must be to surge forward out of the storm. And for you to do that, you have to do the second thing. You have to adjust your sails so that you can catch the wind of that opportunity and it drives you straight through. In the book, I present 9 different things that can be done, and I will not go into them for now. You can read it for yourself, and you can ask questions. I want to say, as I start to close, that there's a quote by Patrick Moynihan. He says, if you want to build a great city, first build a great university, and then wait a few hundred years. First build a great university, and then wait a few hundred years. The pace at which knowledge is changing things in this world means that those few hundred years is actually just a few decades. As this university turns 60, you're presented with a massive opportunity, a huge opportunity to become the great university on which a great city is built. And that great city should be seen as a metaphor for a great nation. If we truly understand that we are, despite all that they have said about us and what we do, that we are really performing magic, and we believe in our capacity to extend that magic, to grow it, extend it, and multiply it and accelerate it, we have to have the ambition. We have to dare to dream and decide to move towards it. I present in the document a maturity model that I don't want to go into now. It's quite simple, but it basically says that this concept of building a great city around a great university requires that the university does what the VC has said. You cannot be insular, talking to yourselves, hiring yourselves and your sisters and your brothers, and not pulling in the world to become a part of what you're doing. You cannot wait here and say, oh, they didn't come to us, and so you don't go to industry. As the VC said, Lagos is the home of the creative entertainment industry. It's also the home, which, by the way, in 2019, $700 million came into the technology ecosystem. $780 million came into the technology ecosystem in Nigeria. $600 million was spent in Lagos. Try to understand that number. Of $780 million that came in as foreign direct investments, $600 million stayed in Lagos. How much of it landed in this university? What we propose is that you embark on a journey with the VC, a journey that is a journey of digital transformation. you have to say to yourselves, no more analog. Because the world has moved digital. And digital transformation is not just about infrastructure. It's not even only about pedagogy. It's not even about curriculum. Digital transformation starts first and foremost in the mind, where you embrace the reality of a world that is now fundamentally different from anything that you grew up with and anything that you've seen. And challenge yourselves to be the champions of that transformation and not the victims. To do that, you have to expand your heart. You have to expand your mind. And you have to agree that your university has a manifest destiny that is tied directly into the manifest destiny of this nation and ultimately of Black people the world over. This university needs to be able to ask itself, how do we define ourselves? How do we expect students to answer if you stop them and you say, why did you come to this university? If the answer is, oh, we came because that's what we filled in a JAMB form. Or the answer is, we came because it was close to our school, or close to our homes. Or the answer is even worse, I don't know. Then truly we have failed. It's our job to put in the hearts of these children and the lecturers who are responsible for building them, working and co-creating with them. We need to implant a vision of an identity that allows anyone who graduates from this university, anyone who works in this university, to step outside and people will say, that's an Akokite. If we cannot say that today, then that becomes what our vision has to be. You reach the boundaries of the possible when you have exercised all that you have, when you have moved to the extent that you possibly can and it seems like it is impossible. That is when your heart must step up and your mind, and you must say to yourself, I will go beyond. I often use the example of the people who left Africa in reed boats and sailed to the Americas before Columbus got there. Most of us do not know that in parts of South America, cave paintings were found where the natives of South America were bowing down to a ship coming across the ocean with a black captain and black crew. Many of us don't know that the Easter Island monoliths that you see there, those huge granite rocks, were taken from places where you don't find them today and brought to the ocean to look out towards the sea. Nobody carves a figurine of the person that they hate or of a slave and then moves it and puts it at the entrance to your city. Centuries ago, Black people left Africa. They created reed boats. The Kontiki expedition, the Ra expedition, all speak to these things. And they sailed across the ocean. I figured that they must have had a lot of palm wine. Because there's no way you look at that water across this lagoon and enter something that is made of straw and say, I'm traveling. There's no way you get to Bar Beach and look and you say, if I get to the end of that place, what lies on the other side? You know, of course, that up until the 16th century, they believed that the world was flat. Anybody who packed his bag and left his family and entered their boats to sail to the edge of the world was searching for the boundaries of the possible. And they were crazy people to the world around them. They were the ones who thought different, believed different, and decided that they were going to do it. Same with our country and same with this university. You must decide to venture and venture beyond your current possibilities. But to do so, you have to accept, as my friend Esiaba says, it's at the outskirts of our vision that we will find the carcass of our nation. For us to change this, we have to agree that our university is a reflection of our society, but it doesn't mean that we have to accept the society that we have seen. Indeed, the society itself is what it is perhaps because we have failed. And this was one of the things that 30 years ago, Dr. Pius Okibo in this university gave a speech, Crisis in the Temple. In that speech, he said to us that the barbarians have breached the gates, and that if we are not careful, what they will leave behind is destruction, not just of the physical structures and the capacity of the university, but a destruction of the mind, the spirit, and the values that will make us settle for mediocrity instead of driving towards excellence. I think I'm almost done. For us to win back the temple and remove those who have desecrated the temple, for us to rebuild this university and the education system, and by extension, the city and the country, we must first of all begin with the realization that it is our battle and nobody else's. And that battle begins in the mind, where knowledge is both your spear and your shield. It is with our minds that we must thrust open the frontiers beyond the known boundaries of the possibilities. It is with our minds that we must shield the future, nursed in the wombs of today, our children, to seek the light of their full potential. And that battle must begin today. We must never tire to ask ourselves if today, this very day, and every day that comes after, we can say yes to 4 things. Did I discover something new that I did not know? Did I share what I learned that I did not know and found out? Did I think about my discovery and what it means for humanity? And did I do anything with what I learned? This is the way to go. And Dr. Kibo reminded us. The key to lasting power is knowledge. None of the people that represent the icons at this time had any preoccupation save the pursuit of knowledge. And the roots to it lay in diligent hard work, the discipline to utilize every opportunity that offered itself to improve one's knowledge, and a passion for fine thought. Great Akokites. Great Akokites. Greatest Akokites. Let it be known, please, from today, that your alma mater is not a place for the mediocre. It's a place where knowledge is shared. It's not a place where just a degree is awarded. Let the world know you as the light upon the hill. You have to set your own aspirations to be more than what you are today. No matter how good you may think you are, more is possible. And that's what it means by going beyond. We will know it has ended when all over this city, heads are pointed in this direction, wondering what is happening in that place that is glowing? What's happening in that place that is humming? What's happening in that place that everybody wants to go to? That's when we will know that you're living your true heritage and living your full potential. When you build a city that is indeed a light on the hill. And people then begin to understand that from this city, this university, an entire nation can be born in one day. As you do so, I invite you to remember what Albert Einstein said. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. The light is within you. You have to reject the smothering cloak of mediocrity and let your light banish it. Be all that you're meant to be, not what somebody chooses that you are. Shine and let the world turn to you, and then rise, and rise, and rise. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the lecturer. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Please let's sit. permit me to call the chairman back to the podium for his closing remarks. Mr. Foladiola.
Thank you. Congratulations. For two reasons, there shall be no attempt to summarize what you said. One is time, and the other is fair. But he went beyond. What did he say? He spoke. Analyzing schools and knowledge from the time of Plato to the concept of Jakpa, and he used it not only in its noun form, he used it variously in its verb form as well. When you look at that person, Jakpaing, not bad. Last week I turned 28. I wish I was a bit older and would have loved to have you as my son. That is the quality of work that you have done today. You must be proud of yourself. I just want to touch on your reference to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not standing alone. And as you know, there is also DALL-E. All right? And the issue we face in the world today, in fact, I was just sharing with the professor next to me the letter that I got from a school principal. And in the District of New York today, there's massive restriction to ChatGPT. And other people are asking themselves, is it the best course of action? Is pedagogy being challenged to start asking themselves, okay, maybe how we need to teach people now is at a higher level so that what they are interrogating ChatGPT, because essays will not be the same, not even from chat. So can we raise the mind? And we're in Unilag. We're not even in any neighborhood where ChatGPT is known by people. Grow the farm. Grow the farm. It wasn't what I said, it's what you promised. And growing the farm be a threat. I haven't listened to him. It should just be a simple promise. That's what we want to do. Today, running the university at the level that we are running today is dangerous. Technology and automation eliminates all opacity. Those simple things that we worry ourselves about, eliminates them, and then we can move to the realm of knowledge. I thank you very much for your lecture. I thank you very much, the audience, for the way you have carried out your own duty. I saw a couple of people, but not enough to tamper with the population size that would then merit a sanction. So there shall be no sanction, only accolade. And how can there be a sanction when the most prominent member of the audience is the Obi of Onitsha? He's the one that will be invoking the gods to sanction the people. And when next people call me obedient, I said to the Obi, I say, yes, people have called me that, except that they don't know that this is the Obi I'm obedient to. Thank you for adding grace to our celebration today. That is what you have done. In our part of the country, we'll say that Irukere. You know what Irukere is? That thing that you are holding. Omadabere. I'm Olorogun Jebu. Keep saying it in English to him. Ojo Adobo. And may you live long in the service of your people and of the rest of us who happen to know you and to love you. The representative of the president and that of the minister and that of the executive secretary, now only you are come. We thank you for coming. The gentleman, the alumni president who sat next to me initially said, at the end of your delivery, he said it was a very competent delivery. And I said to him, I endorse. Thank you very much. You're a very young man, and the journey is just right ahead of you. Just keep your humility and all is okay. Mama Shade, that's your new title. Thank you very much. When people ask me, why do I want to live long? And I say to them, very simple, to see the kind of thing that your eyes are seeing. This is remarkable. And you should be proud of her. May her long life be filled with pleasure. Mo yọ̀ fún yín, mo yọ̀ fúnra mi, as we say in Lagos. Ọkọ Ṣadé, it's coming to a close, and then the work starts. You have the crown on her head. If she's the vice chancellor, you are the vice chancellor. There's no competition. Oye, you agree? Fane? Yeah. God will continue to strengthen you. She wouldn't have been vice chancellor if you hadn't been who you had been to her. And we know ourselves. Is your title. Okay? It's been an honor to be chairing this occasion in the presence of my worthy younger brother. That is here. When we get back home, is my prince. Okay. Thank you very much. Your calmness infects and is pervasive here. Just came, one man was screaming orders. Call on the pro-chancellor to declare the tea open. And then you just come here and you declare it open. And I say, wow, my own eyes are seeing good things like Mama Shade's eyes. This is my Aburo. I'm so proud of you. Tebadele, Kebami Kibaba, Keni Gbogbo Atawa Mbi, Aránṣẹ́ sí wọn. Adé apẹ́ lórí o, bàtà apẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀. Àwọn olórí wọn máa ṣiṣẹ́ ìlú. My grandmother used to call us when we were very young to help her write letters in those days to our brothers or cousins while they were abroad. And we will be writing. Sometimes we will not, we will be trying to write in Yoruba or in English. She will be dictating. Anyway, she didn't know how to write. There was no way she could find us out. But the last line I will never forget. Ọ̀rọ̀ mi kò ní jù báyìí lọ, èmi ni tìrẹ ní tòótọ́. Olórí Ogun, tell the Obi what I've just said. Afolabi Adeola, thank you.
Please, we can do better for the chairman of today's occasion. Thank you very much, sir. with the admixture of Queen's English and proper Yoruba from the core Egba land. Please let's give him another round of applause. At this point,
You can be killed.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not joking.
Okay.
We always have meetings sometimes Sunday evenings. Not once, not twice. I had people come and meet me to confront me. If you don't leave this thing, we'll get you out. So I was called for a meeting. I'm like, step down, we'll give you 10 million naira.
Wow.
10 million naira in 2022 was big money.
Yeah,
Even now,
it still is.
you man.
It is.
If you no go Canada, sharp boy, you go try. It was a game of, are you willing to die? So if you are not willing to die for a cause, I always say that don't, especially when it's political, don't try to go for it.
The year 2020 was the last that we had the youths of Nigeria come together en masse to stand for a common goal. The question now is, would such a time come where Nigerians once again put their hands together as well as their heads to take a stance in the political space? Hello and welcome to another thrilling episode of the Youth Speak Pod. I'm your host, Daniel. And as you know, on the Youth Speak Pod, we talk about everything youth related. Talk about entertainment, fashion, pop culture, sports, education, and of course, politics. On today's episode of the Youth Speak Pod, I have with me a very, very phenomenal guest, and we're going to be diving into the world of politics. With me today is Yomi Ojute. He is a breath of fresh air in the political space. He ran for the seat of Wadi Bariga LCDA position. He's currently the founder of the Leadership Factory community, where he trains and mentors emerging leaders to become much more greater leaders in future. He's also an author, and the name of his book is Dear Emerging Leaders. So with me today is Yomi Ojute. It's a privilege to have you in the studio. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Daniel. It's good to be here.
Yes. So let's just take this very slowly. I hope you're feeling very well this morning.
Yes, I don't think I had a great sleep. I slept very late, but I'm bright this morning.
All right.
To get things done.
All right. So we're going to kick straight right into the interview. I can remember back in the year 2021 when I first met you, and ever since that very first day that I met you, I knew that you were a beacon of hope. You had something that made me just wonder, right? And you've always shown that quality of a leader, and I've always wondered, and that's why I'm glad that you're here today, right? I've always wondered, how did all of this start? Your passion for leadership, and even going as far as contesting for a political position. How did all of this start? Where did you just wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to do this? So can you just run us through that story?
All right, thank you for that question. I think I'm going to start from my journey into leadership first. My undergraduate, I finished from University of Lagos, first degree and second degree.
Amazing.
So during my second year, my first degree philosophy, I studied philosophy. I observed that we didn't have, and I'm sorry to say it might have changed. Unilag accident, please don't kill me.
It's all right.
We didn't have what you could call student leaders who could be role models. So I just called my friends and I'm like, guys, let's do something. And I termed it, we just want to help.
Wow, amazing.
And what I was doing through that platform was to just train leaders to say, guys, we need to have leaders with values. That was just really it.
Right.
So I did that free of charge. My friend, who is now my wife, or Olua, we're doing it together for free.
Wow.
And then we did that year 2, year 3, up until final year. Now, for that 2 years or 3 years, I was also involved in high-level community service. So there was Akoka Community Development Association. And what we did was just gather young people to just support our community. We did things like traffic on the road for free. I'm sure if you've passed Paco to Finbas to Ilajero, you must have seen us.
Yeah.
We did that for many years. We went about to clean drainages. I did talent on competitions, scholarships, just to really support young people. So it wasn't about competing for a position. It wasn't about contributing my little quota, to my immediate community. One day, a year before, I think a few weeks before I went for my NYS, I was studying my Bible. So I'm a Christian.
Right.
I think it was the book of Romans chapter 5, 12 to 15. The Message translation says, one man said yes and put many aright. And it was talking about Jesus and talking about Adam, saying that Adam sinned, made all of us become sinners, right? Yeah. And then when I was sitting that evening, I just thought about it that really to transform any organization, any place, you just need one man who will take responsibility. And it just came up, I'm like, Yomi, why don't you just take responsibility for your own community?
Right.
So one day, I used to have an office on Fimbas Road, opposite the Chicken Republic there. And one of my big egbons, his name is Mr. Boyka, just came to me. It was after NSAS. NSAS was, I think, 2020, 2021. Yeah. So he just came to my office and said, Yomi, why don't you want to contest? And I'm like, God forbid. Now, I was involved in community service for so long, but I wasn't involved in contesting for an election. I'm like, politics is a dirty game. They've talked us out of these things.
Yeah.
I said, God forbid. So I walked like a little forward and I heard a voice. You might believe it or not. Why are you stopping what I've already set in motion? I'm not joking.
Wow.
So for like 30 minutes, I just walked out of my office and I'm like, God, what are you saying? Was like, listen to him. So I went back and I'm like, Mr. Boyka, what he said, Yomi, you need to contest for this election. I'm like, I can't win.
Wow.
Because I was never involved in politics, like being a member of a party. Of course, there's APC in my ward, so I used to go for their meetings, but I was not really a member, and then all of that happened. Then I spoke to my mom about it. My mom is like my first important stakeholder.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I want to contest for election. My mom said, in Yoruba, which is you want to die, and she wasn't lying. And but by the time I begin to share some of the stories that even during that, also that happened during the process. So after that, I spoke to my friend, I spoke to her dad. And then all of them just gave me like a go ahead, after prayer. So that was really the journey from understanding the importance of taking responsibility to my decision of saying that let me run for a political office. Yep.
Right. It's a common saying, and I feel like every other parent would react, the same way as your mom actually did, because everybody thinks that politics is, it's a death sentence. You go in there and you're not coming back the same. Right. So I just want to ask, because I'm sure that my audience are going to be very, very curious. What are some of the challenges that you've had to face? I believe if I get it right, this is now about 3 years or maybe more that you've been involved in politics, actively involved in politics. What are some of the challenges that you've faced? Maybe you can mention like 2 of them. Right?
There are a lot of that. First is
and okay, just add how you were able to overcome. And if perhaps you're still struggling to overcome some of these challenges,
I'll also mention. That's true. I think the first thing for any young person is penetrating any established political party to contest.
Right.
Now, the way Nigeria is structured, whether I like it or not, we have a 2-party system. Is it that APC or PDP?
Exactly.
There are other parties, but they don't have as much stronghold, especially at the grassroots level.
Yeah.
Now, so it was even trying to contest, of course I know the guys in APC in my ward, I know the guys in PDP, but they wouldn't allow anyone who just wants to contest and you don't have, in quote, a godfather.
Right.
So during the planning, when we do, of course, one of the things that you must do as a politician, you must really strong in scenario planning. So we had to plan all the scenarios, work out the possible chances. So we said, you know what, we're not going to get involved in any of these established parties because we will never get in.
Yeah.
So we decided to say, okay, what party can we then choose? So we selected first Youth Party. There's a party called Youth Party. Now, when I was part of Youth Party, I got involved, I paid for my ticket. Few months to the election, INEC deregistered Youth Party.
Did they say any reason for that?
Of course, so INEC has this law that if you contest in a general elections and you don't have any seat, I think once after 8 years, you've not won any seat, you'll be deregistered. Because, but they had only contested for only one electoral, cycle. Of course, they had to go back to court to fight. They eventually won. So we had to move from White Youth Party to YPP, Young People's Party, Young Progressive Party, right? Yeah. So that was the first challenge, and it was like a 1 month window to do all of that. Wow. It was really crazy. So that was one big challenge. But one thing that helps me to date is that I'm very, very tenacious. If I want something, I go for it, especially when I believe that God wants me to go out for that thing. So that was one. Another thing is funding. Now, so if you're part of a strong political party, you get party funding. Literally, those small parties like young people, they won't give you 1 naira. So I literally had to fund my elections by myself. Wow. And of course, I didn't have money. Even to date, I never blew. I'm not a big Obama, right? So I had to literally learn the science of fundraising. That was the first time I had to do that. And God literally helped us. You know, I had to partnership would have give us 5,000 every month, 10,000 every month. One man literally gave me $1,000 that year. You know, so you have to literally, look into your relationships you built over the years. And of course, that's why you must not just wake up one day and say you want to run for elections. You must have people that already believe in you. And I always sort of want to advise young people, you know, at the moment you have to start right now to be somebody credible that people can bet on you with their money. So, and that really helped me. You know, people that didn't even know will come in. I mean, I've just sent whatever amount to your election account, and it was very transparent. So funding was another. The third thing was now what makes you win election is people. There are people called polling booth agents. Okay. So we have to now go, I think in Ward D, if I'm correct, we have about 54 polling units. In each polling unit, you need to have at least between 2 or 3 persons put there to ensure that there's no funny thing that happens on the day of elections. So it was not about getting these volunteers. We got them. But the process of getting them, because we literally started Young Progressive Party's membership in our ward like 2 or 3 months to election.
So it was like it wasn't existing.
It was not existing. We had to build from scratch. We did it eventually, but I had to now go and, you know, sort of partner with other youth groups, you know, in Ward D, people that also believe, that had the same level of belief, you know, passion and also desire, you know, and that's what it was. It was a collaborative exercise. So that really helped us to actually get all of things that I think a final thing that I would say is you can be killed. I'm not joking.
Okay. All right.
I'm not even joking. So, many times so we always have meetings, sometimes Sunday evenings. Not once, not twice. I had people come and meet me to comfort me. If you don't leave this thing, we'll get you out. Now, the funny thing about my own election was that there was only one strong candidate. And she was strong because she was part of the existing political party, right? And people didn't want her to win because she's been there for 4 years. She didn't do anything. She's an illiterate. She cannot write one complete sentence. Cannot, you know. So I was privileged to be contesting against her. I was educated. I had sound profile. You know, people will love it now. And across a little bit illiterate community, I done a mini MBA from Lagos Business School. You know what I'm saying? So people like, this guy, which kind of guy is this? And I find small, not very well. So I try, you know. So I'm doubting that part, but
no, you don't have to.
But the point is that I was already creating interest from a particular part of the polity that would not be interested in local government elections. Now, local government elections are different from general elections. People are not really interested because they believe that once they go to LASEC, they'll just write with the winners. So I was already engaging that community of people that would not naturally want to go out to go and vote. There was a time the local government chairman came to my ward. I had 8x8 banners. They are really big on different key locations in Akora, Chemist bus stop, Paco bus stop, you know, as you're entering Oridami. So he came one day and he shouted, "Who is this boy?"
He called you a boy.
Literally, because he was afraid that this guy is getting popular. He's gaining the popularity. Now, I was called for many meetings. So my uncle is late now. He died about last month. He used to be a strong. He wasn't doing, but he had friends in PDP then. So they had to go and tell him, and go and call your boy. He wants to take up. My uncle come say, "You're me." I said, "Uncle, you are doing this to the end." I had many chieftains come to my house. He lived there. So it was a game of, are you willing to die? So if you are not willing to die for a cause, I always say that don't, especially when it's political, don't try to go for it. You must, and that's because that passion, that desire will also sort of strengthen the commitment of other people that are supporting you. Few weeks in the election, I was told to step down, that they were going to give me money.
Wow.
I'm sure Mali would know this. So I scored for a minute. I'm like, step down, we'll give you 10 million naira.
Wow.
10 million naira in 2022 was big money.
Yeah,
even now,
it still is.
Man. If you no go Canada, boy, you go try. But the point was not like I needed the money, but it was beyond money. I was recording the whole meeting. You know why? Because when you go out, they can say that they gave it to you. So I went there and said, there's no money nobody won't be interested in this money. We're not going to take a big. And the reason why I didn't take it wasn't because of me. It was because of the hundreds of other young people who had committed time, resources, and even talent to my own electoral mission. I left that meeting with not one naira, but it was fine. 2 weeks later, I pay me because you go reach and say me, and the way life works, you now be broke afterwards. See if I been collect this 10 million for buy one mad car. But actually, it was about priority. So all of these things were the challenges that I had to face. But thank God that I was able to overcome them. And I'm still here. I go to Akoka confidently every now and then. I shake my oppositions and they hug me too, because they now know that you are a person of value. So that's it for me.
Amazing. And there's something you said. If my expression really already says it all. You said that you could be killed.
Yes,
right. I don't want to get killed. Right. I don't think there's any young person out there. There's no young person who's listening to us now who wants to get killed. How have you been able to still stand? I don't know. Did you eat something? Did you go somewhere?
Yes, I ate something. I'm going to be honest with you. But just that, so like I said, I didn't go because of any natural ambition. That wasn't it for me. I prayed and I had a word from God. So you might not be a Christian, so you might have any other thing, but I had Juteo, I had a clear word from God. Go, I'm with you. So I wasn't afraid. One day I was coming back from a political meeting. I go to the bus stop. The larger road. So as I got to the bus stop, I didn't have a car then, so waiting for Napep that was going to take me back home. For my head to toe, I'm not joking, this part of my body, I couldn't move it.
Oh, so it wasn't just physical attacks.
I'm not joking. I couldn't move it.
All right.
So my friend Yemi had to carry me inside in Napep. Guess what? As soon as I got in front of my house, I was okay.
Wow.
So there were a series of prayers. I no get that. So my pastor was praying, my mother was praying, me too. I was every Wednesday we will fast, we will pray. Because you only know God now. Them they have other stuff. And also let me also say this: before the elections, I'm a grassroots person. Every key person that they will send to come and do it army was my friend. So literally, some meetings I will go, they'll come and tell me, go home, don't come there.
Now I see.
So, and that's one thing that any young person should do: build relations. Don't say you only want to speak, you only want to be friends with the illiterate. You be also all those guys you call touts. You need to be their friends too, so that when shit wants to happen, permit me for if something crazy wants to happen, right? They can also help you to say, please don't come here. You need to leave by so time. So that really helped me along the journey to overcome any unforeseen. And I was also very bold. And I believe both spiritual and natural. One of the things that your enemy will use against you is to see whether you are courageous, you are bold, or you are very timid. So boldness is a very needed quality of anybody that is going to stand against opposition. You must be bold. They must seize there that this guy is not ready to back down. He's not ready to back down, and it really helped me. So
that's interesting. So my next question, you already mentioned, right? When you said that in Nigeria's political space, it's just as though there are just two parties, that are in opposition, really into the political game, right? So would you agree, right, that there are indeed political godfathers?
Anybody that doesn't agree to that is not involved in politics.
Right.
The next councillor in Ward D has been selected. So I was there. I think it was the salary there. So I'm a Christian, but you have to have relationship. So I went to one of and I was speaking to one of the guys. Said they've I don't want to mention the person's name. Has already selected the next councillor. I was angry. I'm like,
Wait, so not for the political party?
no, for his political party. I mean.
Okay. So they
But
have a candidate.
Now, the way local government elections are also, let me also be honest with you. There's something I can't say, but it's mostly determined before elections,
Right.
such that the only person that was not in APC that won the election was from, I think, Accord. But on the day he collected his certificate of return, I think the office is on Burial Road Avenue, just close to the barracks there.
Yeah.
On the field where they gave him his certificate of return, he decamped there to APC. So we now found out why. Apparently, it was an APC person that funded his election and made him win. So the agreement was that I will make you win, but you come back. Because they didn't like the APC candidate who contest for election.
So that was a way to get their own person.
So right now, in all local governments, there is nobody that is not from APC.
Right.
Except don't deceive yourself. So that's why you must. I know better now. So anybody that wants to contest for elections, I can educate you to say, don't be in a haste, calm down, see what you can do, talk to a lot of people, so they are godfathers in the political system, especially in local government elections.
So how is it? Okay, let me ask it this way: do you think it's possible to break your way through? And if yes, how do you? Because from the conversations now that we've had already, I can tell you that I'm feeling a little bit discouraged. If I were to run,
because I'm being honest,
exactly,
I don't want to be
right
motivational.
So and then I'm thinking, okay, I think I'm still a little bit confident, right? And I want to still do this. How then do I break through this gate?
I think that you must be ready to run for an election 2 to 3 years before the election.
Interesting.
That's the first thing you must do.
Wow.
And in between that period, you must try your best to start building key relationships with people, identify stakeholders within the community, right? And I always advise people, if you're a young person, don't run for House of Assembly, Senator. You will lose. You know, I'm not going to deserve, because start from your community now. The voters there are less than 5,000, right? So you can ensure that you can still win, right? So start building key relationships. Be somebody that is recognizable. Attend party meetings. If you try, I would really be honest. Try your best to see whether you can get to either APC. Most importantly, if you're in Lagos, you can do Abgao if you're in the Wisto, but in Lagos, as much as you can, try first to get into APC. If you can't get into APC, then you can try PDP, right? Now, I think Labour Party is getting a lot of recognition because of the Peter Obi, influence. Of course, he won Lagos State elections, right? So I think Labour Party can also try Lagos Party. But one thing I will also advise you to do is be visible from now. People don't like to work with me in Akoka, and the reason is simple. Before we enter 2 streets, Yomi, Mr. Yomi, honorable, so even me, I'm embarrassed sometimes. Please just come. And again, there's billing. They'll bill you, So, but now I tell them I don't have. If I don't have, nobody can kill me, right? But the most important thing is be visible. Let people know you for, not just because you're a politician, because you are already contributing something to the development of that community. I think that with all of that, you can do great work in breaking through the political system. And final thing is, once you are getting visible, be building your own followership. People that can die for you. I think that those two things can help. But I'm not going to say that it's going to be an easy task. Peter Obi, I supported Peter Obi. I wanted him to win because I felt like
it's a revolution.
No, apart from most times, it's not revolution. It's about. It's important that we're able to evaluate the quality of leadership that we have in any nation.
Right.
I'm not going to be a fool to say it will be any of the other candidates because they didn't appeal to me as a person. Right? Peter Obi had the values that I had. So it was about putting your votes where your values are.
Exactly.
So I think there was a question that former Vice President asked and said, vote for somebody that you want your children to be grateful for. Right. I don't think that it was a person that won for me. So I think that, but he didn't win the elections. He was a good man. So I'm just trying to say that you can be a good man. You can have all the things in place, but you might not still win, which will take me to my final point. Winning an election is not a sprint, it's a marathon. When you are getting to be ready to lose, which means that I lost my election. The election was on a Saturday. I went to church on Sunday confidently. I had a bad night, because before the election, election is always 50-50.
Yeah.
It's either you win or you lose, and if you lose, be okay. I was broke for the next 2 months too. I almost went to depression because I put my money there.
Yeah.
But importantly, you must understand that election is a marathon. If you win today, as long as you know that it's something that you want to do, go again.
Yeah.
But if I lost today, I'm not going to go. Yeah, no, we are not ready. Except you have another, because political power is not the only source of making contributions to your community.
Yeah.
So let's get that straight, right? If you have other vehicles, other avenues to do that, fine. But you must be ready to go and go. Tinubu, I think it was Peter Obi that said it, that he knew that it was not going to be a sprint for him, and he was ready to go the long. You can say that he has started making those key strategic partnerships, because that's how it works in politics.
That's really amazing. Like, politics is indeed, it's a game, right? And it takes mastery to be able to win at this game, right? So I have another question. I think I have like 2 more questions for you before I let you go. We're still in June.
No, that's fine.
We're still in June. Some days back, we celebrated our democracy. We've had years now of unbroken
25
years of unbroken democracy. My question to you is, what do you think about these past 25 years? And there was the celebration, and then there was people saying a lot of things. Do you really think, deep down within you, right, that we are really celebrating democracy? Do you think it's something that we ought it's necessary to celebrate, right, because it's the right thing to do, but do you think that there's anything that we're really celebrating as a nation?
I have 2 perspectives to this.
Okay.
The first is, yes, we should be grateful.
Okay. Yeah.
We should be grateful that we've not experienced military intervention, good or bad, for the last 25 years.
Okay.
Something to be grateful for. I'm not going to lie. If you ask those that were here, that saw all of those periods, those seasons of this nation, you'll be grateful. So there's that.
All right.
The other perspective is, democracy is supposed to be government for the people, by the people.
And of the people.
We are not benefiting the dividends of democracy. Just yesterday, of course, we know about the riot in Kenya, right?
Yeah.
For the finance bill. The president came out and said, the people have spoken. We are going to go back to amend the finance bill. That's democratic practice in place. In 2020, young people died trying to sort of speak to the government. We don't want these people. End SARS. I'm not sure that the government acted like the people were speaking. That's dividends of democracy. So what you have in Nigeria is that we have democracy in place, but the citizens, the only people that are enjoying dividends of democracy are the politicians. Because literally you can't so I have a young family, and when I first got married, right, we used to ball. When I mean ball, end of the month like this, go out every end of the month, Sunday we go to 360 by Vertigo.
Wow.
Buffet, Sunday buffet. There's no bomb where make I do I'm now. With the kaku. So and the difference is the same money I'm earning, right? But the cost of things have risen. Now we still go out though, but I take before I come I took my paper and biro. I was budgeting. How many times are we going to go this month? And
so what are the things you're going to spend?
You have to prioritize. So it's literally painful that young people can aspire as much as they should, because there are many constraints, there are many limitations. I cry when I talk about it. I'm not joking, because it just gets to me that when my father, I'm gonna say, when he was my age, he used to earn 200 naira. His first salary was 2,200.
Wow.
2,200 now. You don't even buy that as if
you can.
So it just tells you how the country has retrogressed in the last 25 years. So yes, we're happy that we don't have wars, we don't have any of those things, but the dividends of democratic practices are not seen, are not benefited by the citizenry. Maybe by the politicians, yes. Because if they are earning over 10 million, 25 million every month, you're a big man.
Yeah.
So that's my
So, well, an amazing answer, and I think that you probably even said my mind, on this, on that question. So we're running right behind time, but I think that I can just squeeze in one last question for you just before, I let you go. You said something about, the game of politics being a sprint, a marathon, right? Yes. And not a sprint. You contested in the year 2022. So are we looking forward to seeing you contest again?
No. My answer is very straight, and that's because there's an election next year, local government election again. People have been speaking to me from APC, YP, and I told them no, and the reason is very simple. I'm not in a place where I can contribute. So I run an organization right now, and one of our mission is to be at the forefront of spiritual and social development in our community of residents, which means that what I'm supposed to do, right, being a counselor, I probably will be able to do it if God helps us, right? However, that is the time being. I'm not saying that in the next 5 years again, I will not run. But this next election, I do not think that I'm going to participate. I'm going to support. I'm already speaking to people. If you want to contest, come. We're going to support you. I'll go. Especially in Akoka. I'm a key stakeholder. I don't live in Akoka anymore, but I'm a key stakeholder. My family lives in Akoka. My mother lives in Akoka. I'm a key stakeholder. So if you know anybody that wants to run for elections and you think that I can support the person, please let me know. We would give as much support. Maybe they can come into more to come and be SSA to the governor. Why not? You put me now. See me now. I have the steez and composure.
Definitely. And then you have the experience.
To also make it happen. But so that's it.
So it's been a brilliant conversation so far. I wish that we could keep you, for longer. But there are key aspects of this conversation that I feel like we need to still revisit. And we're definitely going to be bringing you back.
Wow, boss.
And we look forward to, having you speak to us, everything concerning politics. Because I know for a fact that there are people who have this tenacity, right? Just like you have mentioned that you have as well. And they're looking forward to bringing change, particularly in the political space. And they would definitely need somebody who has had the experience and somebody who can as well hold their hands, right? And I believe this is what you're doing through the organization that you already have. And we're definitely going to be looking forward to bringing you, once again onto the show to talk to us. All right, guys. So it has been an amazing time once again. I'm sure that you had the best spend of your time, right? And we're going to be looking forward to having you right here on the Youth Speak Pod. Please do make sure to subscribe and like the video. You can as well share it to those of the people that have ambition to run for any seat in the political space. We're definitely going to be here next week on another different episode and title, totally different from politics, because we want to maintain that diversity here at the Youth Speak Pod. If there's anything you'd like to let us know, you can do well to mention it in the comment section. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. See you next week.
Listen closely to the heartbeat of Lagos, and you will hear another rhythm. The steady pulse of progress emanating from the University of Lagos, the University of First Choice and the nation's pride. For over 60 years, we've educated students. Today, we're shaping nations. And now, we invite you to shape what comes next. Every great university faces a moment of choice. Maintain the status quo or leap boldly into tomorrow. Unilag has chosen to leap. What you're witnessing isn't just construction, it's transformation. Not just expansion, it's evolution. Each project you see isn't just a structure, it's a strategic asset. Each investment builds capacity, improves outcomes, and expands our impact across Africa. Moremi Hostel Extension. The 120-bed expansion of the iconic Moremi Hall is a bold step towards empowering young women through safety, dignity, and academic excellence. Beyond alleviating accommodation challenges, it underscores the university's unwavering commitment to fostering an environment where women thrive. Commissioned in 2017 by the Unilag Women's Society, this 540-bed hostel stands as a testament to community-led impact. Thoughtfully designed for comfort and safety, it offers room options from private to shared 8-person suites, each with en-suite bathrooms, water heaters, wardrobes, Wi-Fi, and shared kitchen and laundry spaces. Femi Gbajabiamila Hostel, named after a distinguished alumnus and national leader. This 484-bed facility addresses a critical infrastructural need: affordable, quality on-campus accommodation. In celebration of his 70th birthday on November 12, 2024, alumnus Pastor Tunde Bakari donated a 6 kVA solar power installation to the Faculty of Law. This supports sustainable energy use, ensures power backup, reduces energy costs, and showcases his commitment to environmental stewardship and academic excellence. This is ACIDARS, the African Center of Excellence for Drug Research, Herbal Medicine Development, and Regulatory Science. Recently unveiled, this world-class research facility is the university's boldest scientific commitment yet. Here, the future will take shape, where Africa's rich heritage of natural medicine will meet rigorous modern science, where the next generation of researchers will lead breakthroughs that serve not only the continent, but the world. The labs are quiet now, but soon they will hum with discovery. At the heart of every great institution lies its library. At the University of Lagos, that heart has been transformed. No longer just a space to read, the new main library is a place to explore, collaborate, and create. Remodeled in 2023 with zones for every learning style, quiet contemplation, animated collaboration, digital exploration, it empowers students to take learning into their own hands. Globally connected, locally grounded. In 2020, Alhaji Femi Okunu, SANCON, reaffirmed his lifelong commitment to education with a 100 million naira gift to the Faculty of Law, funding a new 4th floor extension and expanding what was possible within those walls. But he was not alone. The 1996 law graduating set breathed new life into the student lounge, and Mr. Kunle Adeleke transformed the faculty's staff lounge. Together, these acts of generosity have helped the faculty grow beyond its limitations, easing constraints, meeting accreditation benchmarks, and building the foundation for a new generation of legal minds. The Oyewusi Bidakpo Bay House, commissioned in 2022 and donated by Zenith Bank, is a 1,665 square meter smart building at the heart of campus. It combines function with sustainability, powered by solar, cooled with inverter-driven AC, lit by motion sensors, and ventilated through intelligent design. Inside, it houses Zenith Bank's Unilag branch and the Office of Advancement and Alumni, a space purpose-built to drive connection and growth. At the intersection of innovation and legacy stands the Arthur Mbanefo Digital Research Center. Built in 2012 and gifted to the university in 2020, this is a space designed for the digital age. It reimagines how scholars connect, collaborate, and conduct research. Through this gift, Chief Arthur Mbanefo has equipped the University of Lagos with the tools to lead in a knowledge-driven world. In the Madhouse, creativity lives. Founded by Bayo Omoboriowo and launched in December 2023, this vibrant space is dedicated to media, arts, and design. Students come here not just to learn, but to experiment, to build, and to inspire. It is a hub where ideas turn into reality and where the next generation of creatives is nurtured. Sir Dr. Kessington Adebutu, through the KAAF Foundation, has redefined campus healthcare. At the heart of his contribution is the KAAF Medical Laboratory and Maternity Center, offering 24/7 obstetrics, pediatrics, ultrasound, and general medical care to staff and the public. In 2023, he expanded this impact with the donation of 3 telemedicine booths valued at over 200 million naira, bridging students to timely remote care. And at Idiaraba, a new medical research center is rising, expanding our diagnostic reach and research capability. Education isn't just about classrooms. Unilag has invested strategically in campus beautification and recreational spaces that support student well-being and community building. Shofolue Park, maintained through partnership with Alpha Morgan Capital, provides essential green space where students can decompress and engage in informal learning outside traditional academic settings. The Lagoon Front restoration, completed in 2021 through Dr. Akintoye Akindele's commitment, transformed underutilized waterfront space into an area for reflection, recreation, and community gathering. These investments recognize that student success depends not only on academic resources, but also on environments that promote mental health, social connection, and the kind of informal interactions that often spark innovation. But we're just getting started. The Institute of Maritime Studies, donated by NIMASA in 2014, opened Unilag to the oceans of opportunity. The CBN Center of Excellence promises new insights in policy and finance. The NNPC SNEPCO Center of Excellence in Geophysics, under construction since 2022, is being built for future energy leaders. The UBA Business Office, with a sword-turning ceremony in September 2024, will deepen ties between academia and industry. These are not just projects, they are possibilities shaping the future of Unilag and its community. Every great institution has defining moments. This is ours. This is yours. Behind every world-changing graduate stands a believer who invested in their potential. Behind every breakthrough discovery stands a visionary who funded the research. Behind every transformed community stands a partner who understood that education changes everything. Unilag is rising. The question isn't whether we'll succeed, it's whether you be a part of the story. Your name could be on a building, but more importantly, your legacy could be in the minds we shape, the problems we solve, the barriers we break. From hostels that house tomorrow's leaders to labs that cure tomorrow's diseases, your investment plants seeds for harvests you may never see. But Unilag, Nigeria, and Africa will never forget.
This is the place. Yeah.
This crossroad.
Exactly where the roads meet. You can put down your feet. We've arrived.
At last, my poor feet.
Where is the food? Put down your feet first. I said, where is the food? I don't know, Eko. Are you the only one who is hungry here? Show us then. You mean you can't wait? Wait for what? I'm very tired. We've walked. You're hearing this man. What is the game? He's saying he's tired. Tired? All I am saying is that we've walked. What are you saying? A feasting house. That is what you promised us. Food in abundance. That is why we dragged ourselves to the dust and followed you all this distance. And now, you are saying I'm tired. And this place is as barren as a graveyard. And so what? Are you better than a corpse anymore? Hey, stop it.
We move from place to place, scrounging, and the smell of the grape follows our every step.
Even you, Diggy.
Even you. Hunger, my friend. Hunger makes life meaningless.
And this was of rubbish you came out in. Is that what is going to kill us?
Corpses, my friend. Yes, we're living corpses. The dead don't have a stomach howling for food.
Stomach? You must be damn lucky, Sinsin, because you have a stomach. But what I have here is a furnace of rioting. Oh, that is just it, Ogalekyo. Yams, eggs, bananas, palm oil. What else did you not promise us? But now, this, a forlorn crossroads.
I can't even curse him. My voice is swallowed in my aching belly.
If only you all will be patient. I should have known this idiot. After the prank he played on us last week. Just last week. It wasn't a prank, Eko Ibo, and you know it. Or would I play a prank on myself also?
And now, Eko Ibo, you are going too far. Breaking up such memories.
I am starving.
And has he had anything to eat in the first 3 days that he cannot scavenge from that poor woman?
A prank? I wanted to help. It was my hometown, wasn't it? Where I was born and raised. So how could I have known things had changed so much? How? Oh yeah, it's my mistake. Mistake? Which almost killed us? Charity! That was the creed we were all raised on. And everyone practiced it. No stranger passed by without finding a roof or a bed to lay its head. They taught us to give freely, like Mother Nature. So how could I have known that my own people, these same people, will see men in distress and drive them? How would I know?
And how they drove us. Ran like a squirrel when the hunters suddenly emerged from behind us. Didn't you run? Did you not run? I was the first to turn, I admit. But then I saw a Eko. So many parts with his scattered.
Whose legs were scattered? Hey. Whose legs were scattered?
Sorry now. See, my dear Omeni, do not blame your people. In those days you speak of, there was a different God in the land.
But is this the time for sermons? What is wrong with all of you? I am stuck in a big family. If only you will be patient. Omele. What do you mean? Tell me, if there is no food, what are we doing here? On the radio, there will be food. Besides, you all agreed to follow me because no one else had a better idea. What? I suggested the bridge. We would have found shelter under it at least, instead of having to roam about like beggars.
And that would have been perfect for you. You are like them. These scum who live under the bridge. You would have been very comfortable with them.
You better watch your tongue.
And if I don't,
watch your tongue.
I suggested the marketplace. The stalls are warm and empty in the night.
Empty? Where do the roaming lunatics go to roost at sundown?
And the soldiers on patrol.
Oh.
Who wants to wake up with a gun pointing down our throats? But Oga Radio suggested the beach.
Thank you.
We could have stayed there with their loud grass.
And feed on what? Feeding? Sand and salt water?
On feed! But we all went through these arguments before. And we agreed that Omene's idea was the best.
Exactly. Yes, we agreed. But you didn't tell us it was going to be a barren crossroad. Oh, it isn't a barren crossroad, Eko Ibo. Has any of you never heard of Shekpeteri?
Shekpeteri?
Yes. What is Shekpeteri? So, Shekpeteri is...
It rings a bell. Let me see. Shekpeteri.
Yeah!
What?
Yeah! Sorry, now, you know,
See?
Omele! Shekpeteri? Yes. Is that where we are? This is the crossroads of Shekpeteri. My friends, we must leave now.
Why?
You do not know where this crazy man is going. Wait, now let him explain to us. There is no time for explanations. Eko Ibo, so something can turn you into a woman. You who used to dance in the face of death. Why? You don't understand. Understand what? This place.
This is Secretary, the home of Eshu himself.
What?
We are standing on his head.
Hold on. Friends. Surely there's an explanation for this.
I swear it to you. Tales are being told of men suddenly losing their senses and beginning to bark. Like dogs dying on babies. Of women suddenly turning to screaming monsters and beginning to display lunacy. Of children suddenly losing their ability to walk.
I know these stories too.
You do?
Yes.
So why have we brought us here? And at this time of the night?
It's morning, as you can see. You heard the cock crow.
Oh! Is there any time of day or night when it is safe to share his bed?
We are not sharing Eshu's bed. We're only sharing his food.
Yes!
Omele, I beg you in the name of God, please explain to us. I am frightened. And I too. What is this about Eshu and his food?
These stories, my friend, are for children.
Friends! Well, I am not scared of Eshu. I know he can be kind and benevolent to those who he favors, yes. But, Omele, what is this madness?
I will explain.
What is this madness about sharing his food?
This crossroad. I used to live here after I left the village. They brought me to train as a mechanic. My master's shop was over there by that tree. So from there we saw a lot of things. People bringing food and laying them on this crossroads.
Why? What for?
As offerings to Eshu. From those looking for children, to those looking for riches, and those looking for long life. You see, Shekpeteri is the last point. You see the town behind us, and the group of Orumila over there. Eshu, the Lord of Shekpeteri, is regarded as an intermediary between men and their wishes, between fulfillment and destiny. Don't worry, just wait. They will bring their food and placate Eshu. Everywhere will be laden with food.
And then what happens?
The feasting begins.
Have I gone mad or am I hearing correctly? Are you suggesting we steal food from the world?
Steal? Is it stealing to eat of a food that will either go to waste or at bed eaten as dogs and goats?
But Umile, that is an abomination now. Or are you willing to risk the wrath of Eshu?
With a full belly, yes. Go and sit down. If your God does not object to vermin eating his food, why will he object to humans driven by hunger to feed?
And I understand. You have gone mad.
That's
your
the
hunger
plan.
has turned your head.
That is the plan. I am ready to wait for those baskets.
Ogarejo.
Yes?
You have heard this man. I suggest we leave now so that he can face the anger of Eshu by himself.
But wait, Imbo, let us think about this. I mean, we don't have any other idea.
Wait, think. Is it not obvious that his plan is a crazy plan? Ogarejo, see, Diggy.
Oh, how do I know? How can I think on an empty stomach? I think I will stay and eat too. I will eat and repent afterwards. The God will understand. He definitely will care. I'm sure he knows that we have no other choice. After all, it's not our fault that we're jobless.
That is it. That is just it. Friends, we will eat the food now and repay the debt when we find more.
When will that be, Ogarejo? Speak now as our leader. You know that this band was prescribed. They said we played too much for the politicians. We were banned and all our assets were...
Omele, they are coming. Let's hide. I just don't understand.
What's that?
Oh God, see, I'm beginning to hate it all.
Let's hide. once you sang their praise song while their victims perished at the door.
Sir, we were earning a living like everyone else. We did not make the laws. We only tried to live by them.
Living like pests and feeding on other pests?
You are right, Papa. Look at us. Pity us.
Yes, please.
Baba, I know. Sorry, we know we have come to the end of the judgment. Baba, we are hoping that you will help us. As a servant, please. Baba.
They should have to help men, but only those who can show that they can live happily with other human beings. Human beings are greedy and they can...
Please stop this. Help us. We have learned our lesson.
Yes. Does not see through the hearts of men, only their actions. Are you ready to help those among you who are in distress?
Yes.
To bear the redress and justice to the wrong?
Yes. We are.
Then, if you are, I'm going to help you. I'm going to make you very prosperous again.
Yes. We are ready. Help us. Where does he go?
That's enough. Songs alone does not prove a man's sincerity. But I'm going to give you a chance to help yourself. Come forward. I am going to give you a medicine that will lift you from dust onto the throne of gold. But if you misuse it, you will be punished. It's a power and it's also a test.
Baba, what's going on?
Each one of you, take one seed. Take it. Eat it. Eat it! And swallow it. Done?
Yes.
Now, you will all look for a suffering man. Someone unhappy and sing to him.
Sing?
Yes, sing your favorite song to him and make him sing and dance with you. As you do this, whatever his pain, whatever his suffering, it will go away. If thirsty, he will be satisfied. If crippled, he will walk again. Whatever his agony and sorrow, your song and dance will bear it all. Find a man this morning, and by evening I shall make you a billionaire. Or return to the dust. So it depends on you to find someone according to your wishes. Someone who is capable of gratitude. And if you do not, you'll be very, very punished. You all have eaten the seeds of wishes.
Yes.
I leave you now. Good luck.
We'll soon find out who to be. Eshu is the god of mischief. I don't trust him. Neither do I trust his priest.
Hey, he's also the god of justice. I don't think he will deceive us any more than we deceive ourselves.
You are right. Eshu is not just destiny, but it's a way to it. He's like a loom in the market of faith, but we each hold our own shuttle, free to swing it the way we like.
Anyway, I have eaten the charm, and I am ready to sing. Strange how my belly no longer feels the pangs of hunger.
And mine too. I suddenly feel engrossed with hope.
Yes.
I know I shall choose the right person.
Wow.
How do we begin? Shall we go and find them?
No, this is the right place to wait. Yes, look at it. A crossroads. One way leading to the village there, the other to the town, and that to the sacred grove of Orumila. Anybody in trouble will pass through this place.
Yes. Let them come quickly. Me, I'm dying to be rich.
See?
Fortune, smile on us.
Please, spare me. I'll give you anything, anything.
What is the matter with you?
Sir, madam, I beg you, Mama Rumila, spare my life.
Stand up, my friend. We have not come to harm you.
Echo, you go. See how your face gets honest.
Nonsense! My dear man, sorry. Don't be afraid. We have come to help you.
Yes.
To help me?
Yes. You see, we are proud
Musicians.
We are not armed robbers, so you don't need to be scared.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't put down your hands and tell us your problem. We can help you.
Yes.
You can help me?
Yes. Why not try us?
I thank you all. But this is my problem, you see. Nobody can help me except the gods. No man on earth, especially not musicians like you. Calm yourself, sir. Tell us the problem. There's no harm in trying. I have been to how many herbalists? I have been to different doctors and hospitals all over the world. All of them asked me to try one thing or the other. Even prayer houses. How many? But all in vain. My friends, my manhood won't come back. Yes, my dear lady. Laugh all you want. That is how they have been laughing at you for 5 years now. My manhood, I've lost it and become empty. An empty house. The shame of it. I can't even get it to come up. I'm only an empty walking shell. Sorry, calm yourself. I'm sure we can help you. You can imagine how bad it is to have all this wealth, but no chance to inherit them.
Wait, did you say wealth?
You mean you are wealthy?
Yes, unfortunately. Perhaps even more wealthy. Houses. Cars. A private jet. What don't I have? I have bought them all. But for what exactly, I ask? For who? I cannot afford other children to inherit them. My life is a waste.
My friend, come with me now. I will help you. Now, I do not want interference from any of you. I saw him first. He is mine.
We all saw him together.
Yes! But I volunteer to help him first.
Nonsense! You have no right to claim him, John.
Oh, you want to fight me for it? You want to fight me for it?
Come and fight! Come and fight! Shut up, all of you!
Madman.
In my presence, I will decide. Now, everyone will put that knife away. I mean, this is only the first man to come along. The day has only begun. So I see no reason why we should fight. Having said that, I think it is only fair that I, the person with the most experience, handle this situation. I think it is only fair that everyone you go handles this situation, you understand? Because they say it's not good to die young. So, yes.
What do you mean by I am all his? Am I some misadventure?
My dear friend, what is this that all your problems are to solve? I can help you.
Swear I'm not joking. You can help me?
Yes, I can. I can help you. See, come first, come. Yeah, come. If I help you, what can you give me?
Everything. I will give anything to be cured of this disgrace. Anything.
Baba, anything is not specific enough.
What do you want? Houses? Land? In fact, take all my property.
Check up all of his properties. I will be rich. But come first. How do I know I can trust you?
Here, this is my country. Keep it. Don't rid me of this shame, please.
Hey, Goddy! My friend, your problems have been solved. I will help you. All you just need to do now is sing.
Sing?
Yes.
At a moment like this?
Yes. I'm going to sing. I'm going to
Let your knife sing with you. Back up. Yes.
Mo fẹ́ kọrin, mo fẹ́ sùn.